It was a joy to do. To call it a quiz, you wouldn't. Quiz is too formal a word, isn't it? We're asked questions, and it's an excuse for a lot of banter and conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
And Joe's a friend from way back, Rebecca, I knew anyway,
Oh,
and
did
at
you?
my age, I knew most of the guests. So you do feel relaxed to start with. But the other thing that made me laugh at the time was if you click in with a correct answer to a question, don't say it straight away. Give a wrong one. Let's have a laugh. And then, a bit later on, the right answer will get there.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
quiz was just a pretext
Is it?
for a lot of conversation and larking about.
And I also, people saying it's a bit of a chat show sort of element.
It is.
Does that creep in as well?
It is. The quiz is the pretext. It's an alleged quiz. But I loved it.
Well, panel shows are the thing, aren't they? I mean, although it's not really a panel show, is it?
No,
In a sense,
no. It's rather a good idea, actually. It's line them up sort of like a panel, but it's not a panel show. We'll pretend it's a quiz. And that'll get the conversation going.
Yeah, but aren't you at a slight advantage here, Barry? You know everything about comedy. You know.
Oh,
I mean, you'd
come on. Nobody
you
knows
could-
everything about
I
comedy.
don't know. You come the closest.
I'm
Would
still
you not?
learning. I'm still learning. Watched Vicious last night.
Oh, what did you think? I saw the ratings had dropped. I think it's well written, isn't it?
Well, I
It
mean,
is.
those two amazing actors. It's like violent coming out. We must have a laugh. Let's do a sitcom. Mm-hmm. But I was saying to you earlier, I don't know. I hope, for God's sake, they've got such a reputation deserved. But if Ian McKellen plays Lear now, would you be looking, thinking, "I remember you"? Is Lear going to come on and go, "Get you, dear"? I don't know. I admire them for doing it.
Yeah.
But it's line, line, line.
It is. It's
Insult,
gag,
insult, insult.
Do you
Very
think-
little happens.
Yeah. Do you think there's? I mean, I noticed. Well, noticing that 2 million people had dropped off. Were there too many jokes in it? I've had said about some sitcoms there are too many jokes in it.
Every line is a bum 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 bum. You know, fascinating. That was saying about sitcom at the moment. Mrs. Brown's Boys
Well, yeah. I mean,
and
what?
Ben Elton with The Right Stuff.
And the right. Yes. What did you think of that? I mean,
And-
that was
well,
pilloried, wasn't
And
it?
I don't know. David Haig, one of my favourite actors.
Well, he's very
it's
good in it.
rigidly. Listen, who's talking? He actually said old-fashioned. Did you hear him say that? No, I'm all for a good old-fashioned mode. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's whether it's subjective, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
I got tired. I got joke fatigue watching Vicious. Well, it wasn't jokes, it was
I know what you
lines.
mean, yeah.
Insult, 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 insult. And I started to drift away from it a bit. And I thought, these two men are brilliant. Francis de la Tour.
She's
Boy,
very
what a
good, yeah.
cast. I do good pompers. I always think the great sitcoms are character-based. They're not line-based.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of the great... That was Ray Galt and Alan Simpson years ago, who had written, obviously, for Hancock and everything. They decided they wanted to do things with actors and actresses. They didn't want the comic to be a star of it. That's why they had Willie Bramble and Harry H. Corbett. They didn't...
Yeah.
It was one of the first sitcoms, if not the first, where there wasn't a comedian in it. And it all changed. Then we had Till Death with Warren Mitchell and Danny. It wasn't about comics anymore.
Yeah, and yet we've slightly gone back to that, haven't we, with
Yes.
Miranda? So
Yes.
Miranda's a case of, but that did seem to work, didn't it? I mean,
Although Miranda's background
she
was actress.
yeah, true.
She'd been in the
True.
business, hadn't she? Researcher or something.
Yeah.
But it was an actress, not a comic. Graham Chapman and I, who were friends, but he was writing with John Cleese on the Frost Report all those years ago. David Frost, a practicing catalyst. We become friends, but he brought us together as writers. And Graham and I wrote over 50 shows outside Python, including
Did you?
Ronnie Corbett's, talking of comics, Ronnie Corbett's first sitcom, long before Sorry.
What was
It's
that?
forgotten now.
What was
As,
that?
as you're proving. It had a witty title, No, That's Me Over Here. And the opening credit was a school photograph. And you could put Ronnie Corbett on without photoshopping him or anything. He looked just right. And his voice said, "No, that's me over here." Second series, they removed that from the credits. Why, we don't know. So the title now becomes meaningless. And people have, "Oh, I saw that. No, I'm here. No, he's there. No, what's it called?"
So did the Frost Report, was that really your writing break, was it initially?
Yes, first regular.
Yeah, and how did David come across you? Where did he
Well, there we go. I've always been dogged by good luck all my life. Ronnie Corbett and I were in Danny LaRue's nightclub shows, and I was writing them. And Frosty came in one night and had a drink with me and Ronnie Corbett. And as a result, Ronnie went into the Frost Report, and I became a Frost writer. You can't cater for that, can you? It just happens. I don't know.
And then you and Graham, from then on, went on writing. So how did that settle down as a partnership? How does a partnership happen?
Well, Frosty put us together, as I said, and Graham was brilliant on construction. What happened then, the plot. I was better on the characters and the lines. And dear Graham, I go to his house, Southwood Lane, Highgate. We put up a plaque to him on the pub last year, not on his house.
Did you?
Mike Pennon said it should have been on the pavement, not on the wall. Bless his heart. 10:30 in the morning, you know, the old joke, I don't drink much, I spill most of it. And dear Graham would be putting tonic into something at 10:30 in the morning. Sorry, Graham. And for an hour and a half, he was brilliant. Superb. About 12 o'clock. Ooh, just the one? I thought, there goes the day. Our friendship survived it, though. I was very pleased about that, but the writing became a bit chaotic.
Did it? Was that because he was sort of performing it as well, or how was he as a writer? Was he? I can't imagine him settling to.
No, he was a restless soul. The old thing about writing partnerships, I think it still applies in the world of laptops and everything. You've got a sitter and a walker. One of you's just doing it at the table, and the other one's wandering about. And Graham was the walker. I've got an inflated reputation because people say you wrote for everybody. I'll say we wrote for everybody. There's a whole gang of us. I never wrote alone.
Never at all.
No. Ray Cameron, the late Ray Cameron, and I wrote all the Kenny Everett shows.
Oh, God.
Ray Cameron, father of Mike McIntyre. I've known Mike since he was a little boy.
God, really? That's not.
No, I had a load of partners. I was promiscuous. So, as I say, it's nice when people say you wrote for everybody. I say we wrote for everybody.
Yeah.
The whole
Well,
gang of us.
that's very modest of you as well.
No, it's
Is
realistic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. But
You know this. If you get a mental block on your own, you're in trouble. If there's two of you, you can bang it about.
can you? Yeah.
Something will happen, you know. My favourite joke about the writer is searching for the word. He needs the most use, the word. Tries to think of the right word for 2 weeks, and then he goes, fortnight, that's it.
So has it gotten easier down the years? Right.
Well, I don't.
Is it,
no, I don't write for anybody now. I haven't done for a long time.
Yeah.
Because my life went full circle. It's all gigs and performing now.
Yeah.
And I do a rock and roll, gospel and blues show with a friend called Ronnie Golden. And we write all the songs. No covers, they're all originals. So, and writing ideas for myself. I haven't written for a show for years. Because
Do you not
this
get
breed came along, even pre-Python, of these brilliant younger ones who wrote their own. So if you're a freelance linking about the place, it went very quiet.
Yeah. Hang on a minute, you guys.
No, we don't need you. We do our own. And then you see, luck again. I'd always been doing some performing while I was writing, but my life went full circle. The writing started to fade away, and I started doing more and more performing.
And did you welcome that? Because I mean, I was reading initially that you didn't want to do the performing particularly, that you wanted to write. Is that
No.
correct?
Well, I mean, it's a pretty note. Galloping Excellent, covered, really bad, and in those days used to slap makeup on, and that was not a good
God,
period.
no.
And I thought, I'm out of here. I can't do this, and that got much better due to meeting my wife mainly. And no, I've got a performer's mentality, not a writer's mentality. So I love gigging now. We didn't call it stand-up in those days. That's how I started, virtually,
Yeah, yeah.
as a stand-up.
And was the radio always there as well? Because last time I talked
Not
to you,
always
was
there,
you were with
yeah,
Graham,
but
I think
for
it
many years now. But
yeah.
well, that's 41 years now. Sorry, I haven't a clue. We don't analyse that, you see. We're just happy about it.
Yeah. Well, that comes through, doesn't it, in that show?
Yeah, if the audience were
if
our
you-
age, they'd be dying off, wouldn't they? We
Do
got
you think you're
families
getting a
and
new audience?
students.
Do you think you're getting a new audience?
It's lovely.
It
We get
must
whole
be.
families coming. It's great.
Really, gosh.
If it works, don't fix it. You know, we're
Yeah.
just very happy about it.
I mean, why has that been so successful, do you think? Is it
We
just
don't know.
because it is...
It's one of those things we're always frightened of finding out. If we ever find out, the game's over. We just do it.
And what do you think about Jack? Because he's come in
Oh,
to
he's-
fill big shoes,
He's
hasn't
settled in very well and very modestly, because talking about Humphrey Littleton, he said you can't fill those shoes. You just try and take over the job. He was in a bit. God, I'm following him. And we did the Rose Kingston, the theatre, right?
Yeah.
Last year, I think we did a show, and in the middle of the recording, a man in the audience said very loudly, "Not the same without Humphrey Littleton, is it?"
My God.
Terrible silence in the theatre.
Wow.
And Jack said, "Ah, dear Humph, wonder where he is now. I envy him."
Good Lord.
Diffuse the moment
Yeah, but,
completely. Show and her mate writing about something you know. She'd been a psychiatric nurse and everything, and that is just terrific.
Yeah.
I like the IT crowd as well.
Yes.
That was quirky, and Graham Linehan I found very interesting. I love Father Ted.
Yeah. for the
Well, there's
first
a
time.
kinship with Dave Allen, isn't there?
Yeah.
You've got the
Yeah.
religious ambience all the time, making
Yeah.
fun of priests and the church.
Yeah.
and-
Did you write for Dave Allen?
No, he's the one
Did-
I'd like to have written more for.
How did you not cross his path at some
Well, I
point?
knew Dave, and I was blessed with work. I was once offered work on a series of his, and I couldn't do it. Peter Vincent and Ian Davidson, my friends, wrote who were on the. They are on the programme about him, quite rightly. No, I'd like to have written more for Dave.
I didn't realise that he'd done the piece the other week or last week. I didn't realise that he'd done documentary and
He'd done
Done some straight-
documentaries, he'd done straight acting,
I-
did an Alan Bennett, and the man was fascinating.
yeah. And so, I mean, is it possible for you to say who you took the most pleasure in writing for? Is there was it Eric and only those Christmas shows, or was
Well,
it? I imagine they were quite stressful.
I get pinned down, quite rightly, who's just the one, and I'm not patriotic at all. Jack Benny, the American.
Really?
I worked for him twice over here, not in America.
Gosh.
And he played a mean, conceited coward and was a lovely man. No jokes, all his persona. And he loved other people getting laughs, which is very rare.
That's very very
He
generous.
loved being the butt of the jokes. Oh, God, he was brilliant. So that is the truth. I'm being unpatriotic.
That is a surprise. I
Eric
must admit-
Morecambe was the quickest brain. He was just brilliant.
Was he? Do you mean he could just see the line and how to do it immediately?
Oh, yes. If you got... People knew I performed a bit, and they used to say, "Oh, do you get a bit... Oh, wish I was up there doing it, you know." I said, "No, I was a backroom boy." I said, "If you're writing for Eric and Ernie, are you seriously kidding yourself? You could do it better than that." It's an accolade to be even writing for them, you know.
And what does it say, do you think, that those ratings are still so high for their shows, and they still, you know, couple of million? I mean, they still do better than most first-time sitcoms.
That's right. That's right, yeah. I think the best sitcoms are character-based. They're not line-based. Not Vicious is, you know, Ian McKellen, Derek Jacobi, come on, and Francis de la Tour, but it's line.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the character stuff where they, like I said, Galton and Simpson, you know, and Johnny Spate.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't line. It was the characters. Steptoe and Son.
Yeah. And those sitcoms, of course, that writing came out, that was a little agency, wasn't it, working there, Johnny Spate and...
Associated London
Yeah,
Scripts.
yeah.
Yes.
Did you have anything to do with those guys?
No, I
That
knew them. I was with Roger Hancock, Tony's brother,
Oh, right.
my agent. Yeah. Oh, I knew them all. I mean, I was a generation after. I mean, I idolised Frank Muir and Dennis Norton and Ray Galton and Alan Simpson. I thought, oh boy. And then there's a camaraderie in writers, which you don't always get with performers. Both Frank and Dennis came over and said hello to me when I was an oik writing for Frosty or something. Same with Ray and Alan. They just say hello, you fellow writer.
And what did you...
And you're just a novice, you just think it's them.
Yeah.
And they just come up and say hello, what are you drinking?